I think you have the two most popular names in the world.
But it's also names on the terrorism list, right? You got to be careful where you travel.
Ali's talking to you.
Yeah, we're talking to you.
If you want to do that thing, please
Just do it. Yeah.
Please do it.
I know the value add, I know the market size, it's huge, we're going to make money. I came on, I did my pitch. They started putting holes in the paper, right?
You're killing it.
Yeah.
To come and say, I'm going to come to Kenya, I'm going to leave everything, I'm moving. You know, moving is not a joke, right? It's like uprooting yourself, right?
It's not easy across Africa, but I think the goodness with Africa is or Kenya specifically, is that the access to politicians is much easier than, say, the UK. Yeah. Was I ready to move back to Kenya in 2017? Could I have hacked living here? Perhaps no.
I would like to welcome you to the land of suffering. Yeah, because I think as a first. Greetings once again. This is your boy Karaoke, and yeah, today we have a really amazing guest. He is 6'2"?
6'2", yeah.
6'2".
Bang on, yeah. 6'2".
And I can't really wait to listen to his story. It's quite something. Ali,
Yes.
tell us.
Karaoke, thank you.
What is? Tell us about Ali. Who is Ali? What do you do, and why are you here?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the very interesting introduction. But no, my name is Ali Hassan, co-founder of AfriPesa. But I am a qualified lawyer from the UK, but have now moved back to Kenya to try and really build in the fintech space. I think fintech is really what I see similarities between London and Nairobi. Almost London 2014, that's sort of seen the hype, the fintech space, what was happening. I think the boiling point has now reached Nairobi, and I think Nairobi's on the cusp of becoming sort of that for this region and this continent.
Okay.
So I think it was the right timing for me to move back. I've always been in and out of Nairobi because I've got family here. And I think when I came back in back end of 2023, I sort of saw what was happening in this space. I was like, yeah, I need to be here right now.
Okay.
So I packed my bags and decided to make the move.
So you were in London and you were looking at Kenya. I was like, man, I need to be there. I need to be there.
Yeah, I think you can't try and build something from Europe for an African market. You need to be within the African market, understand close to your customer, really understand what the problems that they're having, and how you can solve those specific problems.
How did you tear the veil of misinformation and social media to actually get the confidence to come and say, I'm going to come to Kenya, I'm going to leave everything, I'm moving. You know, moving is not a joke, right? It's like uprooting yourself, right? It's like, and I think you spent a significant amount of time in England. So relationships, you putting them in the freezer, coming to start again. So what gave you that confidence that I'm coming? And you're seeing our politicians there, they're acting, you're seeing, things that, how did you turn that switch?
And you're right, it's not easy. It's been a journey, and for me, it's if I didn't have the support system that I currently do with family, it wouldn't have been as easy as it perhaps would have been for somebody else. I've seen guys who've come here by themselves without family support system, and fair play to them, they've done really well. And that's, I think, the innate nature of their drive. For me, I think I had a good family support system that could help me open doors and rely upon them at times. If I didn't have that, would it have been so easy? Would I have packed my bag 6 months ago and gone back? Perhaps that might have been the case. So I really thank my family for the opportunity of being able to rely upon them at times. And then also when it comes to politicians, you're right, I think it's not easy across Africa, but I think the goodness with Africa is or Kenya specifically, is that the access to politicians is much easier than, say, the UK.
Is it now?
Yeah, and I think if you have that network of being able, and it's almost getting yourself within a good network, because, I'm a firm believer of your network is your net worth, right? So you're only 6 degrees from someone that you want to try and target and try and reach out to. So tomorrow, let's, for example, say I want to meet the Minister of IT, I'm sure there are 6 connections between me and him that I can try and leverage, but then it's also you're not just trying to pull someone just because of a favor. You want to see what value for them. So it would almost be like trying to build or trying to, I would say, come together for a mutual benefit.
Okay.
Because sometimes there's too many times where people just take without giving, right?
Yeah.
So I think you almost need to have that nature of giving before taking.
Yeah, I think it's value creation
Yes.
and value extraction. Right?
Exactly.
So is there anything that was like a shocker? Like,
I miss a lot of things from the UK. I miss obviously friends, family, but just small little things. But nothing shocked me because like I said, I was always
you used to come in and out.
Yeah, frequently.
Okay.
So, and then I just saw this rapid, like, I was here in 2017. I saw Kenya was sort of on the up trajectory, and I was like, oh, this has changed so much since I've been here. I tried to set up a digital bank, actually, saying that.
A digital bank?
Yeah, at the time. So I obviously was using Monzo at the time. And this is what I said, the UK was launching fintech, neobanks like Revolut, Monzo. And I was like, why hasn't Africa got one, right? So I came here, met a guy that my cousin introduced me to, who was working in the banking space, good friend of mine still till today, and he was working for Gulf African Bank at the time, and in the fintech space and new projects, and we took this idea to his boss liked it, signed off on it, so we unlocked funding to build, co-create or co-build this digital bank. And then the blockade happened, which was between Qatar and the UAE. So the funds weren't released to us.
The investor was in Qatari or
so it was a Qatari bank, but the funds had to come through from the UAE.
UAE, okay.
Because of the blockade that was happening at the time, they wouldn't release the funds.
Interesting.
I think sometimes God's timing is the best timing, because maybe that was what.
Kairos.
Say again?
God's timing is Kairos.
Exactly. And for me, it was like, was I ready to move back to Kenya in 2017? Could I have hacked living here? Perhaps no. So I think I went back to the UK. I got further experience in the fintech and regtech space. I think now is the best time. So, and I think you could also take lessons from fintechs that have built, raised, and failed. And I've learned from a lot of people being in this community, like, we've tried this, it failed because of this. And sometimes it could have been just a timing issue. So it's almost absorbing what's happening in the space.
Like balancing the connections between opportunity and preparedness.
Exactly.
So at Forge, we try and talk to founders, right? Founders, and mostly I would say, founders building technology, tech. So Ali, I would want to understand. So, what's your journey in fin? It doesn't have in fintech. You said fintech a lot, so I'm assuming it's fintech. But what's your journey in tech? Like, where did you start? Because you have to start somewhere, and then at some point, you have some dream. Then you get your tools, you become competent, then you get confidence, and then now you start. So, what is your journey to get into a place where I can call myself a founder in tech?
Good question. So for me, it wasn't specifically, I didn't land myself in tech straight away. I went down the route of doing law, but I was always sort of curious when it came to technology, and I always had this passion of learning about what was happening new, being on TechCrunch every day. I spend probably 2 hours for my sins on TechCrunch every day, looking at what's happening in the space, what new innovations are happening across the globe. And that's, I think, the beauty of the internet. It's when I got into my first sort of commercial, when I gave up the law gig, and I ended up going into a commercial role, and that was doing alliances and biz dev for the likes of TruePhone at the time. TruePhone were pioneers when it came to, so today they're the pioneers behind the eSIM for Apple. They're now called One Global. And that's where I faced my first sort of setback when I got made redundant. And I think that's the innate nature of what built resilience within me. And that, I think all of these little roles that I was doing were sort of good grounding for me to become a founder. So from there I ended up going and joining a company called Jumio, which was they're still around today, very, very successful company in the
Did
space.
you say Jumio or Jumo?
Jumio, so
Jumio.
Jumio.
Okay.
So if you've ever used your phone to take a picture of your ID document and then taking a selfie, they were the pioneers behind that, behind digital identification.
Like 10, 20, 30 providers, huh?
Yeah, there are many now, so the likes of Avido, the likes of Verif, big players in the market. But Jumio very much got a good grounding, and it was founded by a guy called Daniel Matz, who was a serial entrepreneur. And then the likes of Eduardo Saverin, the co-founder of Facebook, was one of the main investors early on, and they've grown phenomenally. So I started off working there, and that's what sort of got me into the AML financial crime space, helping businesses in fraud to try and counter fraud. And that's when I really got exposed to how tech was solving real problems for financial institutions, so banks, fintechs that were trying to sort of scale and grow fast, and where manual reviews weren't going to cut it, and looking at technology to try and solve some of those challenges. So I was there, did very well. Then I joined a young startup. I left there to join a startup called Passport, which later on got acquired by Moody's Analytics. Worked under a very young team, but very smart and sharp team. The two co-founders, Donald and Henry, scaled the business and exited to Moody's Analytics, a big American corp. And then I went back into the startup space. So I kept a keen interest as to what was happening within the tech space and the regulation space as well. So privacy was sort of a big thing that was coming with GDPR. In 2017, I ended up joining a company called TrustHub. Very smart guys, and I went from being the oldest employee at Passport to being the youngest employee at TrustHub.
Wow.
And going back to working with sort of seasoned veterans they wouldn't perhaps want to like me to call them veterans, but they were sharp guys, mentors, yeah, exactly, that's the right word. So these guys were ex-Capgemini, ex-bankers, Arthur Anderson, so Simon Lupert and Ian Bryant I worked closely with. And really they helped me understand working with big law firms, but working with the big four, like the KPMGs, the Deloittes, the EYs, really to understand how we can co-create or co-build a solution that can add value for consulting firms.
Okay.
So that was, I think, it gave me a good grounding. Then I was given a very good opportunity with a company called Acuminal, a Swedish regtech company, working with a very sharp guy called James Wink, who was my boss at the time, and really understanding sort of what was happening back in the financial crime space. So I sort of left financial crime, privacy, and then back into financial crime. So that gave me some good grounding, and then I joined a company for a brief time called Themis, working with the CEO of Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank, a guy called Dickon Johnson, which is doing very good. They've just raised some capital building AI. And then I came back to Kenya, and then I met my co-founder, Mohammed, who's a very, very sharp guy when it came to technology. He's a serial entrepreneur, got another company, edtech company called Doati. And then he explained to me what the vision was for AfriPesa, what the problems that he was trying to solve, because he was experiencing these problems, and not just him. There are many Kenyans that work in Somalia, who were exposed to, they get paid on their Somalia equivalent, M-Pesa equivalent, which is called EVC.
Yeah.
But they struggle to send their funds back home to Kenya, and there was no interconnecting platform.
No bridge
between the two, unfortunately. It was so the only way that you could do it was through the traditional bricks and mortar businesses. So you'd have to physically go there, deposit the cash, or the reverse as well. If somebody wants to send you money from Kenya to Somalia, there was no platform that could do it instantaneously. And we're in 2025, right? There should be a platform that could do this. So Mohammed showed me what he was working on, and as soon as I saw it, I was mind blown.
You were sold.
I was like, I want in. I want to help you build this. And the vision at first.
Is it during Antler?
No. So this is before.
Oh, before.
Before Antler, yeah. So this is back end of 2000, just after early 2024. We started looking at the space, Mohammed then launched the platform where through word of mouth, we grew and scaled rapidly. And then, we realized, okay, now if we want to take this serious, we need to get the ducks in a row when it comes to regulation.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the value that I bring to the company in terms of helping we understand now that there's a real requirement, there's a real problem, but now we need to make sure that we're not killed off because we don't have the right framework and the regulation behind us. So we started to look towards operationalizing, and we managed to get good partners, the likes of Choice Bank in Kenya, which offer us banking as a service, and then also looking towards partners in different African countries to be able to scale, because Africa is fragmented, right? There's no single law that allows a finance company or fintech to go and just deploy across Africa. So you've got this challenge where our vision is to be 54 by 54.
54 by, I mean, 54 countries?
Yeah, so across, like, let's say now you have M-Pesa, you travel outwardly to South Africa, right?
Yeah.
Although South Africa is not mobile money first, it's card first, you still should not be constrained to be able to access your M-Pesa services in South Africa.
Okay.
So what Visa and MasterCard have done for banks,
you want to do for
we
mobile
want to do for
payments?
mobile money.
Okay.
Exactly. So
That's interesting. So that was one of my pitches actually in Antler when I was pitching, and we wanted to build this bridge that mobile money can be used all across Africa. So it is a big problem, and I think you're in the right space. So you started your journey as somebody in the security space, moving to registrations or RegTech, then back to security, and then you found a friend, and then you said, "Hey, you're working on something, and it's really great. I want in." But you'd never done it before.
No.
All right. So I would like to welcome you to the land of suffering. Yeah, because as a first time founder, we all like really want to do this thing, this big dream, but then we find that okay, there are lots of challenges that are coming that we didn't expect. Failures, rejigging, piloting, and pivoting, and all those things. So welcome to the club. How is it going so far? Like,
it's challenging. I mean, but I think, and I look back at my roles at both Passport, even Dreamio to a degree, it was a more established startup, because I would call it a scale up. And it's never easy, right? And you have to be obsessive. I think that's one thing I come to learn about the program. You have to be resilient and obsessive.
Yeah.
Obsessive in, like, you're constantly learning and pushing yourself and challenging yourself, and constantly like questioning everything. Like, is this the right way? Getting opinions, knocking on doors, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to face rejection, right? In the past year, the amount of investors I've spoken to who very much love the idea, they come with this energy, and then you chase them later on 2 weeks' time, and you don't get a response back from them.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I came to recently learn, the art of fundraising is all about getting to a quick yes or no quickly. Because
anybody who drags you for a long time is obviously...
They're never going to invest.
I think that's true. When I raised funds, it was like, I was surprised because I'm talking to these guys, and let's talk next week. CG, who's not available. Then the guys who gave me money, it was like, after pitching, I think it was like a week.
They move fast.
Because they're ready.
And it's not just ready. I think it's also, even if they're not ready, they can still get towards giving you a term sheet quickly. They can get towards giving you a contract quickly, right?
Yeah.
And they can tell you, okay, we're going to allocate the funds to you on this time and day. But I think it's, if they're not willing to give you a firm yes or no within 2 days or a day of when you've had that conversation with them, like, don't think that they're going to come back to you. So I've curated a list, and I think also the thing I came to learn was you can't just do it blindly, right? You need to pick also the right investor, the right people that are going to back your vision, and why. Because what could they offer you? Right? People are quick to say, oh, this guy's giving out money, right? and some of the investors I spoke to quite early on were saying to us, like, we don't see the impact in how you're going to solve some of these challenges. Like, show us the impact value, right?
Yeah.
And for me, honestly speaking, I think impact's bullshit. Because the biggest impact player today, in Kenya, if you look at it, it's Safaricom. Safaricom never, when they were starting out, never thought about, oh, how are we going to factor in impact at 10%?
Yeah.
They didn't think of that. It's by virtue of how big they've grown, the amount of jobs they've created, the amount of givebacks that they do, they become.
But you know, there are impact investors, which I just decided a long time ago I'm not one of those, you know.
No, of course, but I think
impact ventures.
Yeah, but I wasn't targeting them because I thought, okay, I'm going to showcase there's an impact element of what we're doing. There is an impact element because we're giving financial inclusion,
Yeah, obviously,
right? But they wanted to see it much more. I think some of these early venture studios that we targeted across East Africa, they're the ones that were saying to us, okay, this is great, we like what we're doing, we're going to have a conversation with you. And they come with that energy. And then it's just when you speak to them around, like, okay, now let's get towards valuation and term sheets, etc. Oh, you know, we're struggling to see the impact, Ali.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a metrics. I think people have different
boxes,
benchmarks. Yeah, boxes and checkboxes they have to tick. I guess that's in life. But so now you're a founder. You are in Antler, and for those who might not know, Antler is an accelerator that takes, you know, the top talent across the world. I mean, they got you. Well, you already here, but I've in my cohort we had I think 2 guys from Canada, 1 guy from the US. There were 3 guys from India and Pakistan, South Africa, and so they take, you know, global people who are really good at what they do, and they try and build global businesses that are VC backable. So now you're a founder.
Yep.
And you're on this journey, and it's your first time journey, right? What can you tell somebody else who's sitting? And I like your story because you're not here. You were not here.
Yeah.
Right? You were somewhere, let me say, gallivanting in the globes, you know?
Yeah.
From here to there and here to there. And you have such a high level perspective of the world and how it works. And I would say even monetarily, you know, regionally, you know, even problem wise, right? And I think also you understand the acceleration that the rest of the world is in front of Africa. So, from that perspective, from a global outside Africa perspective, what do you think will be the biggest challenge for you moving forward, building a business inside out from Nairobi to the world?
Which can be done, right? And we've seen very successful companies do it. I think you have to stay very close to your customer. I think that's the one thing I've come to learn across any type of business. If you're not solving a real problem, and this is the beauty of what Antler's also been helping me learn, and a testament to both Marie and Kosin, who great people in Nairobi to learn from. It's all about understand the problem you're trying to solve. Because I came onto this program with, I know who my customer is, I know the value add, I know the market size, it's huge, we're going to make money. I came on, I did my pitch. They started putting holes in the paper, right?
They were killing.
Yeah, and
they say at Antler, you kill your idea, and if it survives, then it's going to do well.
Yeah, and they started like putting holes in all the problems, and I was like, I didn't think of it like that, right? It's like almost being told your baby's ugly, right? It's like that slap on the face, right? Your baby's ugly, right? And a lot of people tend to come on with the mindset of like, I'm going to build a solution, but don't think of the solution. The solution comes after. Think of the problem, right? Is this a problem that not just you, but there are millions of you that have this problem?
Which means, is it a problem worth solving?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, and I think, and it's getting out there and just getting in front of people. Like, like it doesn't cost you nothing to take a piece of paper and a pen and just go and stand. Like there are people who come in bus stops. Like go outside at a bus stop at 5-6 o'clock in the evening, right?
It's easy for you, man. You're like somebody who's pleasant, and you can talk to people and you can bring conversations. What do you tell that guy who's a brilliant developer? He knows how to code.
So
right? And
okay.
he shakes in his boots anytime he thinks, okay, I'm gonna talk to somebody.
Which is true, and then I think then becomes you have to think about your skill set and your gaps.
Yeah.
And think about, okay, Rome wasn't built by an individual, it was built by many, right? So you need to think about, okay, if I'm going to build a solution, these are the gaps that I've got, then go and find a partner to help you plug those gaps. If you're scared to go out and speak to people and all you want to do is code, that's fine. You be that guy that codes, but partner with a guy that can be the guy that goes and does that. I can't code for shit, right? My co-founder is the tech guy behind everything, right?
Yeah.
I know what the solution should look like and where we should be doing and the use cases. I can build all that and the strategy behind how we're going to go to market, but I can't write a single line of code. So you put me in a hackathon, I'm going to crumble, right?
Yeah.
But you put me in front of a customer, I'll speak to a customer and I'll learn from them, and I find what people tend to do wrong when they speak to customers is they dictate to the customer.
Yeah.
Making almost, you're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. That won't work. You need to think about who the customer is. And just go there, listen. I think the art of, and somebody once said this to me.
Discovery, right? It's like,
And someone once said to me, Ali, you talk too much, right? Just zip this and you have two of these, one of these.
One of these, yeah.
Right? So just use that. And once you start the power of like active listening. You start to unlock many things.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of schools of thought around products. There's one that says the customer knows nothing, right? And I'm going to tell him what the problem is and what the solution is, right? And I think this is where you look at an opportunity. And for some products and even markets, it works, right?
Yeah.
The iPod, for example, that was one of those, like, what the heck is this thing? So this dude comes and says, it's a thingy for your music. We already have these things and, why do we need this, right? But this guy saw that my customer is not as smart as I am. I'm going to convince him. But obviously, I think that's few and far between. Most people, you have to think about the problem. What is the problem you're solving? Like, how are we going to solve this? Is it worth solving? Listen to your customer. So I get it when you say that.
I think there's a battle, and I actually read a good book yesterday by Peter Thiel on this specific. And,
which book is that?
I can't remember the name, but I'll send it to you.
0 to 1?
No, it's not 0 to 1. I read that one. It's a new book. I think it wasn't even a book. It's like a white paper. Somebody shared it with me. It's like a PDF.
Like musings or a compilation.
It was about the book was about 7 questions as a founder that you need to ask yourself, and you need to be brutal. The first question was, are you actually creating something revolutionary or giving a 10% uplift to the problem? So the question was, Facebook was not
MySpace 2.2.
Yeah, so the question, I think the question was, Facebook was not trying to create a new social media platform. No, sorry. Facebook was not trying to create another MySpace, but what they were trying to create was this exclusivity.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, and over time, it had the ability to
adapt to the customers,
and to create something that had longevity. So today, because Facebook could have sold to Yahoo for $1 billion, right? And all the execs, all the senior managers, all the employees, all the investors were telling Mark Zuckerberg at the time, sell for $1 billion, right? Yeah. He had a long-term vision, and today Facebook is obviously worth trillions, right?
Yeah, I mean, Yahoo is nowhere close to Facebook.
And so there's this new startup I saw come up in Europe. They've been offered 3 billion.
3B.
today.
In AI.
They're an AI. I don't know if you've seen
It
it.
has to be AI. Huh?
Right? They're an AI platform. I can't remember, Mariana, I think it is, who's built the platform.
They've been offered $3 billion to
They've
be
been
acquired,
to be acquired today,
and they said no.
and he's refused.
Obviously, man, like.
And his investors are going crazy, like, why? But there's that vision of he knows where this company is going to be one day, and fair play to him, right?
It's an ingredient. Being stubborn is a very key ingredient of successful founders.
If you offered 3B today, would you take it?
Yeah. I need to. Yes. What are you talking about, man? What?
You're saying
billion.
you're saying you'd have all the time back in the world you spend with your family.
No, but you know, we're addicted to suffering. Unfortunately, it would take probably 3 or 4 months to find myself back into the, you know.
But you say, okay, I give you 3 billion today, right? What are you going to do? You can. There's only so much partying you can do to celebrate, right?
Yeah.
Then there's only so much.
There's no partying. No partying whatsoever.
Aye,
that's where things go wrong. You figure out who your friends are, who they're not. You first of all relax.
Yeah. Recharge.
You relax, recharge, take the family. Everybody who's in the inner circle, maybe ask them what they want.
But I guarantee you, because I think the innate nature of once you've been a founder, you will find another problem that you'd want to solve.
I'll be back. Like
You'll be back.
I'm addicted to suffering and pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point I was saying earlier. You need to be obsessive.
Well, please, if you have 3 billion for me,
give it to us. Let's share.
And no lie, man, my 3 billion will give you 3 more, 6 more, right?
Exactly. And I'm interested to see exactly where you guys go with following you guys' story. I think there's an opportunity for us over time, once we build the rails, to collaborate. Because, you know, and this is the challenge you find across fintech and Africa. Everybody wants to go and do everything. Just focus, stay in your lane, focus on what you do best, and collaborate.
Yeah.
You look at, I remember when the likes of TransferWise, now called Wise, were starting out. They just wanted to focus on being the best money movement platform.
Yeah, remittance platform.
Not just remittance, they were in the FX space at the time. And that's all they wanted to do. And the banks were like, oh, these guys are not big players, right? Today, the banks are forced to partner with them.
Yeah.
Because of how big they've got and how good their product is.
Yeah.
So I think you solve 1% or 10% of a bigger pie.
Yeah.
Collaborate, you'll all eat the same pie.
I think that's, for me, over time. So I started a business and we were pioneers in the mobile payment space. So we had a platform and it was serving quite an array of customers across multiple industries. And when I looked at what we were doing, I realized that when you're too general, you can't really grow that much. So I think in my next life or as an entrepreneur, I decided I'm going to make the most stupid, simple product ever. You know, the kind of product where you look and you're like, what are these guys doing? Like what, you know, because it's not really about the product. It's about how well you execute.
Yeah.
The least fluff you can put and make it as razor sharp as possible to do what you need to do. So now I'm of the opinion always that if you don't need it, don't put it. Focus.
On just one thing, right? And then there's this guy I've seen in the UK who's set up a food truck and he's just selling baked potatoes and he's called it Spuddelicious. And he's not doing anything else, but he's just doing potatoes. So his life has become potato, right?
Potato.
And fair play to him, but he knows exactly what he wants to do. He knows his customer. He knows what he's building. He knows, and the scalability then becomes easier.
Yeah.
Because the process of finding or creating, and I've seen, perhaps you've seen this early on as well, when you're trying to create repeatable processes, whether it's for new hire or whether it's for a new market that you're trying to enter, you're going to always face challenges. And you need to think about, okay, how can I make it stupid simple that if I onboard a new sales rep or if I onboard a new marketing girl or a marketing guy, you need to think about how can you make it very easy for them to quickly hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Because especially the other challenge you find, and I don't know whether you've seen this across in Kenya, is bad hires, right?
Yeah.
Because that's going to eat
Talent,
away,
basically,
talent,
talent,
yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's another key thing, that whoever solves that challenge,
Yeah.
they're going to make money, right? Because as founders with very limited resources,
Yeah.
you can't afford to make a bad hire,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
It'll make or break, man. It's
yeah,
cheap.
it could be exactly that. So
Yeah.
if you're, especially if you've got not a long runway or run rate,
Yeah.
you need to think about, okay, how can I go and hit the ground running?
Yeah.
So, and there are people who, and that's why I think it's also going to be, you could take somebody from the corporate space, but they might not have the same grit and determination. Are they going to be in the office? Are they going to be working here till 11 p.m.
Yeah.
at night with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they going to be wired up on coffee with you?
Yeah.
Or are they going to slam down their laptop at 5 o'clock and
Yeah.
be in the pub
Yeah.
or
Or even
in the
just
bar?
the mindset, like,
Yeah.
you know, corporates, there's a lot of structure. You put somebody who's normally in a cage, you remove the cage, they will not move. It's like, where do I go, man? You know.
It's like that animal
Yeah.
that's been, like you said, being
Yeah.
reintroduced into society,
Yeah.
into the natural nature.
So there you have it. I think you've talked about rejection.
Yep.
Eat it for breakfast, lunch, supper. You've talked about resilience. I think as a founder, you have to be stubborn, resilient. Do not. There was a movie called Die Hard. It had four or five sequels. That dude was Die Hard, right? Bruce Willis. Then you've talked about structures, you know, like you have to have structures and then talent. I think those are the things that I feel, and those are really like core, right? You have to, without those, you might really struggle, you know. So what does a world where Ali is remembered look like?
That's a great question. You know, I never set out to try and be remembered. I've always set out to build something that can leave, that I can leave behind for people to continue using, even if I'm not around, right? So if I can solve the interoperability piece, because I see it on everyone's, since I've started to connect with people in the African space, right, and especially in fintech, and going to conferences, speaking to people, everyone's suffering from high FX fees, like this lack of interoperability, being able to use money across border to border. If I can just solve that, then that's already going to create a legacy for me, right?
Okay.
The same guy, like everyone knows the guy who created M-Pesa, right?
Yeah.
So like, although I don't think he was paid too much for
You're
it.
talking to him.
So this is the genius who created
Really?
M-Pesa.
No. Well, everybody, nobody, who created M-Pesa?
So there's a young
stories
student.
are-
So I think he didn't want the fame, but people know M-Pesa. Like today, it's they use it across 8 countries, right?
Yeah.
And it's that underlying technology which will always remain. So
Yeah.
I'm not somebody that likes to be in the limelight straight away, but
Yeah.
I think it's by nature of building a company, you happen to be the face of the company.
Yeah.
But for me, I try to stay humble.
Yeah.
Like I will give anyone the time, whether it's the guy the guy in the lift that I'm
Yeah.
speaking to, the cleaner in the office.
Yeah.
You got to. My dad's always taught me the trick of like treat everyone with respect. That's
Yeah.
one. Resilience you talked about, and movies you talked about. There are 2 movies I'd recommend people to watch. One is called Glenn Ross.
Glenn Ross.
Yeah, Glenn Gary.
He was like a rally driver? Glenn Ross?
No. This is actually a good. It's Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
Who's acting in the film, and it's one of the films I learned about when it came to sales and the resilience of sales. He says ABC.
Glenn Ross.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he says ABC, always be closing.
Yeah, always be
Right?
closing. yeah.
ABC, always be closing. That's so whether it's a friend or it's a family member, like I always try and get from them like honest opinions and get to a close, right? Even if it's getting help from a friend or family member,
Yeah.
get to a close, get a time. Like if my uncle tells me tomorrow I'm going to introduce you to this person, I'll be there with the phone and be like, yeah, call him now, right? Get to a close, because you've got limited time, limited resources, especially compared to like European startup scene or American startup scene.
Yeah, be urgent about things.
Yeah, get things done. I think you need to have that fast pace nature in you.
Okay, cool. What do you do for fun? Like, what do you like?
So I like to just do some walks. I've got into a walking regime around Jeffries now, and also got back to the gym. Not showing it right now, but you see me 6 months time.
Like,
I'll be doing this podcast without a top on next time, man. Sitting there like that, huh? I'll be like that. But you know that, and that's one thing my best friend tells me. He's back in the UK, but he's always telling me plan, visualize, execute.
Yeah.
A plan without execution is hallucination, and that's deep. Like when you think about it, a plan without execution, you're just setting yourself a dream. You're setting yourself a dream, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, the first thing you've done is you signed back up to the gym, good.
Yeah.
But is your eating habits good again?
Yeah.
No. Then you're setting yourself a dream. Why are you wasting your time in the gym? So you have to have that sort of regiment mindset. And when I start something, I try and stick to it. So yeah, I've got myself back into a regime now. I think for the next couple of months it's going to be busy. So I think it's just going to be a lot of rest, recuperation, wellness, and yeah, just tunnel focus. We've got 2 months of the year left, or half of December, because people tend to go holidays.
Like flown, like, I don't know. Well, I guess it always flies, so I don't know if it's flying more than other years, but I think this year has been like...
But and that's the beauty of it. In 2 months' time, 2 years' time, you look back and see, we were doing that. Like, look at the size of us, yeah?
Yeah.
And I guess, and perhaps a question for you.
Uh-huh.
What was the most hardest part of being a founder? Was it getting from 0 to 1, or getting from 0 to 5? Like there's always
I think it's obviously 0 to 1.
That was the hardest, huh?
And that's, I am a builder, right? I'm a 0 to 1 kind of guy. After 1, then hey, it's okay. I think I can do well in 1 plus. But the hardest part, I think, it has been the disappointments. So I've had disappointments, especially with teams, right? I think I've had founder breakups. Those are the worst, man. Like, this guy, we're gonna do this thing, but we're gonna be in the New York Stock Exchange together. We're gonna be like, riding our Cadillacs or whatever it is, No, we're gonna fly choppers, land on the, So all these dreams, and then things, you start going and your arms together, and then things happen. You start realizing, okay, there's some issues here and there. Then you break up, and it's just like the cycle of coming back. So that's one big thing. And I think if you have a co-founder, you have to have like a cadence of connecting, making sure that you are on the same page, just like marriage, right? You connect, like you talk, what's up, babe? How you doing, man?
My co-founder definitely knows my flaws, and he accepts them, right?
Because it's marriage.
It's accepting each other it's accepting each other's good, and it's also accepting each other's bad, right? So there are things, perhaps, like there's been times where like he'll be panicking, like, is he going to turn up to the meeting on time?
Yeah.
But he'll know when I'm in that meeting, I'm locked in, I'm going to get things done, right? And the follow-up after as well. But like, I wasn't used to Nairobi traffic when I first came back here, right? So I was always looking at Google Maps thinking, I'm going to get there, it takes 20 minutes. 20 minutes means like 2 hours because you're stuck because of the rain, right? It's only, you learn to adapt in the environment that you're in. But yeah, you're right. I think it becomes that marriage, and it's challenging. And it's interesting to hear that you said it's that 0 to 1 journey is much harder than getting to 0 to 5, because scaling after, it becomes a repeatable thing, right?
I think 0 to 1 is very hard, but it's extremely exciting.
Yeah.
Right, the adrenaline pushes you. Once you flip to the other side, it becomes boring, but fulfilling. Right, so what sort of person are you? Are you the adrenaline person, the warrior? They're the warriors.
Yeah.
The guys, the Hercules, who's at the front line, takes the town, and then calls everybody else. Okay, guys, we captured. Now let's, boring. Take me to another fight.
Yeah. I'm done here. I've won the fight.
But it takes a specific type of person. Not anybody can do that, I think. So I think that's really the depth of the difficulty of starting, right? But thank you so much, Ali.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed having this conversation with you, learning more. And we're excited to see how we can partner, continue to grow, and just build a community, right?
Yeah, and tell the story, like people, some guy's gonna make a decision today, right now. I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Ali's talking to you.
Yeah, we're talking to you.
You wanna do that thing, please just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. You're in London, Leicester Square, you know, or Brixton,
Yep.
or Nottingham,
Yep. Just
or
do
you're
it.
in Dubai, my friend. Africa is where it's at. Just do it, man.
There's a tattoo my brother has. It's called it's on his wrist. It says "Time waits for no man," and it doesn't wait for anyone. So if you want to do something, just get up and do it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That has been this episode of Forge. It's been an amazing time learning about Ali.
I've enjoyed
Hassan.
being here. Yeah.
I think you have the two most popular names in, in the world.
But it's also names on the terrorism list, right? You've got to be careful where you travel. Like when money's being sent to you, it always gets flagged.
You know?
Where you're traveling, your name, Ali Hassan, step this way, sir.
goodness.
So you've got to be careful.
So I won't ask you to Google him because it's not going to work. You should have something, you know, like, you know,
I should create-
karaoke can lead to, you know.
Well, you know, my family, my family is actually called Kimani. A strange name.
So you're Ali Hassan Kimani?
No. So the name is a nickname that's stuck by our family because my grandfather used to support the Mau Mau fighters. And if you Google actually Daily Nation, type in Hassan, Somali trader, who helped the Mau Mau, it'll come up.
Okay.
So he used to give chakula to the Mau Mau. So the Mau Mau fighters, they said, Hijama si Somali, Hijama ni Kikuyu, and so Hijama anaitwa Kimani. So now if you go to Isli or you go to South Sea or you go to like Embu and you say Hassan Kimani, that was my grandfather. So the nickname Kimani has stuck with our family.
We thank you, man.
So
Yeah,
it's an interesting fact to
absolutely.
leave you guys with.
So this thing we do,
Yep.
and then they say, Forge to the world.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. We do 3, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Forge to the world.
world.
Sounds